Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening on. Now, I'm going to get into, in a few minutes, everything that's happened with Susie Wiles with this Vanity Fair interview. There's a couple things I want to touch on first, then we're going to get into that, and we've got a lot to cover, okay? They really hate Susie Wiles because things are going so well, and, they want to mess up as much of that as they possibly can, right? Things are going so well, they want to try to make them not go so well. And what we're seeing here, Marjorie Taylor Greene, this thing with Susie Wiles today, what we're seeing is, the beginning of the midterm election season when they're trying to cause, as they do every time there's an election for the last decade, a MAGA divide, right? They're trying to split MAGA. And at this point, they're trying to cause dissent inside Trump's inner circle at the White House. And that's just not going to happen. But I'm going to go through a couple of other things before we get to that. On this morning's program, this thing just dropped right before I went on the air. And, I was covering a lot about Rob Reiner this morning, and we were finding out that he was working with Clapper and all the rest. And the liberals didn't want to accept what I was saying this morning. This is why President Trump was so upset with him. And just as I was about to sign off, this video drops that has Rob Reiner in a very highly produced film in this room. It looks like a courtroom or a corporate board meeting room or something. Looks like maybe the set of The Courtroom and A Few Good Men, which Rob Reiner directed, to tell you the truth. And he's sitting down with Clapper and Brennan, and they're talking about Russian collusion and Trump. And this is a very high-produced thing, and they sit around, and it's about 25 minutes long. And this dropped right as I was about to end the show this morning, and I showed some of it at the end of the live stream, which backed up everything that I had said. President Trump is so smart. He is, we always say he's 5 moves ahead. He's 10 or 15, maybe even 20 moves ahead of everyone else. And when he posted those comments about Rob Reiner yesterday, and then he was asked about it in the Oval Office meeting and doubled down, I knew he knew a lot more about Rob Reiner than we know, and we find out that Rob Reiner was one of the earliest members of the coup team put together by Obama. Obama, remember, he had that Oval Office meeting with Clapper, Brennan, Comey, Loretta Lynch, and others where they started the illegal Trump coup, right? And when they started that, they went out and recruited Rob Reiner to work for them. And for the last 12 years, it started when Trump was president-elect the first time. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Rob Reiner's been working with the deep state in the coup team, in the coup move against President Trump. And when Trump said those things about Rob Reiner yesterday, he knows everything we know now and a lot more, and he knew all this stuff was going to come out. And this video that came out this morning that I had never seen before, and maybe in liberal circles this is a common thing because they pay attention to the Rob Reiner types, but this is a very highly produced, Rob Reiner level directed produced event in this conversation he's having with Brennan and Clapper about Russia and Trump. And this is a production that obviously Rob Reiner himself produced and directed. And it looks as if Rob Reiner was kind of the Lenny Riefenstahl of the coup conspirators against Trump. He was the director of the entire thing, right? And because he's a big was a big celebrity, he could get on TV anytime he wanted to sell it as well. But if you've seen this video, posted this on my X, Brian Craig Show on X, this video of him with Clapper and Brennan. You can go and watch it. I mean, it's insanely high produced. This is a Hollywood production, and he's a big Hollywood director who directed very famous top budget A-list movies. And the people that were leading the coup, the Clapper and Brennan, Rob Reiner is their generation, right? So to them, he's them, if you get what I mean. And I'm glad it's all coming out, because what we're really learning is how this coup conspiracy that went on all these years against President Trump, that still is going on, had a lot of crazy things and aspects and people involved, and Rob Reiner was right there at the top throughout the entire thing. And I think Trump had very good reason to be angry with him and say the things he's saying. When you look at everything that they put President Trump through, don't you? If you missed my show this morning, go back and watch it. I covered so much on Rob Reiner that I learned since yesterday. It's crazy what this guy was all about. I never would have. I just thought Rob Reiner was like Michael Moore or Rosie O'Donnell, just some liberal kind of washed up Hollywood guy who wasn't working and would go on TV just to kill time and bash Trump. And that's not the case at all. So go and check out this morning's program, and you'll get all this stuff. But that movie that Rob Reiner did with Clapper and Brennan, that dropped right as I was going off the air, and that was just showed on YouTube right now, a little bit of it. That totally supports everything I said this morning, and it's really kind of a crazy thing, isn't it? I know people are saying now that his dad, Carl Reiner, was involved with the deep state. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that Rob Reiner was. All right, now another thing I want to cover just for a few minutes, because I'll probably talk more about this tomorrow when more of it develops. But this meeting with Candace Owens and Erica Kirk, there's been a development, something dropped just a little bit ago that I'm going to share with you in a moment about this meeting that is just insane. But I don't quite get it. I don't know why Erica Kirk needs to sit down with Candace Owens and explain to Candace Owens about the death of her husband. And one of the things that I was in shock at this, that Erica Kirk flew to Nashville to see Candace. Candace didn't even go to the widow. She had to go to Candace. So Candace, it's not just home field advantage. It's like Candace Owens is holding court. Like she summoned Erica. Like Erica owes her an explanation. And for the life of me, I don't understand, and had a difficult time understanding, why Erica Kirk would go to anyone and give explanations about the assassination of her husband. For the life of me, that blows my mind. And then this dropped just a bit ago. Megyn Kelly, who's looking a little strange right now, I got to tell you. That doesn't look like the Megyn Kelly that I saw last time I watched Megyn Kelly. But listen to this. This is Megyn Kelly talking about the Candace Owens Erica Kirk meeting. Listen to this. This is nuts.
My viewers have been wondering why I haven't said anything, given my previous statements about Erica. And the reason is that I have been working behind the scenes to try to foster a détente between them.
Okay, a détente, what is this, some summit meeting? I mean, this is what happens when you got these so-called feminist icons or whatever they are running things. Is this how women run the world? I mean, this is just bizarre, okay? So Megyn Kelly put together this summit meeting between Erica Kirk and Candace Owens. Why do you need to have a détente between the two of them? Now, a couple weeks ago, Megyn Kelly got herself into some hot water, and it had something. She was on stage with Tucker. She got involved in Candace and everything else. And if you watch Megyn Kelly, it's almost like she's afraid of Candace Owens. Like, she doesn't want to cross Candace Owens because I guess she doesn't want Candace Owens to start going after her. I don't know. But she seems to be afraid to go after Candace Owens. And Megyn Kelly was taking a lot of heat from Candace Owens' supporters. You know, Megyn Kelly's been in the media a long time, but with the new media, you know, like what I do here, although I've been doing it, like, can this really be the new media? I've been doing it for decades, right? But you know, when you're in the new media, which she's new to the new media, right? When you're doing national television like she's used to doing, you're so many layers removed from the audience. You don't even know the audience exists. When you are in the new media, like doing a podcast like this and YouTube and things like this, the audience has a stronger connection to you, and you have a stronger connection to them, and you see and hear their feedback in ways that Megyn Kelly didn't when she was on Fox. So, you know, she gets these lunatics that listen to Candace Owens giving her a hard time, and she goes into a panic. She gets nervous. So with this détente meeting she set up here, Megyn Kelly, was really to get herself out of hot water in her mind. She didn't want to be the center of the negative attention, so she's taking the attention away from her and trying to act like she's some hero, I guess, feminine heroine, putting these two women together. I think the whole thing was disgusting. Erica Kirk is grieving. She went through something that none of us could imagine. And, you know, so she's got a lot going on. Plus, she's got the kids, and she's got all this crap going on from people like Candace Owens and everything else. She's very vulnerable. And for Megyn Kelly to manipulate a grieving widow whose husband was brutally assassinated in front of 1 billion people online and on television, to sit down with this lunatic woman, Candace Owens, who's nuttier than a fruitcake, okay, or fruitier than a fruitcake, or nuttier than a bag of nuts. I don't know what the expressions are, but she's crazy, okay? I think was pretty sick and twisted and very selfish of Megyn Kelly to do that. Why would you talk a widow just a couple of months after this tragedy on the national stage to go and sit down with this insane woman who obviously is an ex-lover of her husband, very jealous of her husband, and is saying crazy things about her and her friends and their associates and everything that Charlie Kirk built and all this craziness? What kind of... Megyn Kelly is no friend to Erica Kirk. Now, with that being said, Megyn Kelly may find herself very elevated at Turning Point, but she's taken advantage, exploiting, using, and being very inappropriate with Erica Kirk, in my mind. Now, you may agree or disagree with that, and some of you may think that Erica Kirk goes... When you lose your spouse in any situation, you don't owe anyone an explanation as to anything that happened. It's not Candace Owens' business. Especially Erica Kirk going to her so Candace could hold court and Erica could come and bend the knee to Candace Owens. But I got to tell you, when you watch, I'm excusing Erica Kirk from this because of what she's going through with Charlie's assassination. But Megyn Kelly is a very calculated, selfish person. And if you remember, she totally cleaned house at Fox News Channel. She got rid of everybody. All the guys running the joint are gone because of her. Have you ever seen the movie with Charlize Theron playing her? So she's a very manipulative person, okay? And I would put her in the poison person category. I wouldn't want people like that. Just rewind a little, see what she has to say.
Viewers have been wondering why I haven't said anything, given my previous statements about Erica. And the reason is that I have been working behind the scenes to try to foster a détente between them. Erica called me weeks ago and asked me if I would be part of this sit down with them which originally they had contemplated might be for consumption by the public, might air in some way, shape, or form, and asked if I would facilitate that meeting between the two of them. And I said yes immediately. Of course I would. I reached out to Candace. She said, absolutely. I'm thrilled it's you. I'm in.
Yes.
And the two of them took it from there, trying to negotiate the specifics.
Negotiate the specifics. You're dealing with a grieving widow who has young children whose husband was just assassinated in front of the world. You don't negotiate with the widow. You go and you give your condolences, and you ask for forgiveness for this crap you've been putting her and her family through, and all of these terrible things that you're putting on the permanent record that Charlie Kirk's children are going to grow up and have to see your crazy rear end, I said ass, talking about. I mean, this is crazy town that we're in. All the while, I love how Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens are acting like they're friends of Erica and Charlie Kirk. They're not friends with them. They're friends with themselves. All right? They're friends with themselves, and that's all they care about. This is just terrible. Terrible. And so far as, someone who says, well, Erica Kirk didn't have to go. Erica Kirk is in a mindset right now with the grief that she's going through where, she's got so many things on her mind. I believe, and it's just me, I believe she was manipulated into that. That doesn't even mean she's aware of it. I mean, she's grieving. She's not focused on these manipulative clout chasers that are trying to get attention off of Charlie Kirk's assassination. I think the whole thing's just disgusting. I've never seen anything like this at all. And shame on Candace Owens and shame on Megyn Kelly. You don't have to agree with me. That's okay. Okay? We don't have to agree on everything. But, I've never seen someone as nutty as Candace Owens get treated like she's a credible person and that is owed explanations and such. Now, there's one more thing I want to share, and then we'll get into the Susie Wiles stuff, okay? I wanted to share something with you, and then we'll get into the Susie Wiles stuff. This is just a sad thing. And I know a lot of you have probably seen this. Well, in fact, you know what? Let me take a quick break, and then we'll come back, all right? My name's Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Refinement and utility converge at Norma.best, where advanced technology meets home, fashion, and lifestyle essentials. Explore gadgets that make life effortless, home furnishings that radiate style, and fashion accents that elevate your wardrobe. From cutting-edge electronics to smart home innovations and wellness must-haves, each item reflects thoughtful selection and quality. Simply navigate to Norma.best to uncover products that enrich your daily routines with style and confidence. With Norma.best, every find is a subtle celebration of sophistication. Norma.best, everyday elegance curated for you. Imagination meets play, learning, and style at Cressina.com. From educational toys and cozy kids clothing to baby essentials and interactive activity sets, each item is thoughtfully chosen to nurture curiosity and growth. Parenting guides, wellness tips, and clever gadgets round out a collection designed for families who savor quality and practicality. Visit CRESCENA.com to explore treasures that turn ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. Every product is a little spark of care, creativity, and elegance. Cressina.com. Inspire, explore, delight. Step into a realm where technology and elegance intersect. Victorina.com offers an inspired collection of home electronics, advanced gadgets, wellness tools, and curated furniture designed for those who appreciate sophistication. Let your morning shine with sleek coffee brewers, organize your workspace with refined office furniture, or unwind with luxurious massage devices. Discover Victorina.com. Just glide over to VICTORENA.com to explore products that quietly elevate every corner of your life. Every choice whispers refinement, blending practicality with a hint of brilliance. Victorina.com, where innovation meets everyday life. Bring life to every moment with Fancia.shop, where statement jewelry, chic outerwear, and cozy sweaters make every outfit unforgettable. Gadgets, Bluetooth speakers, and smart home electronics from Fancia.shop add convenience and excitement to daily routines. Explore pet essentials, kitchen tools, and fashion accessories that transform everyday spaces. While browsing, remember to visit FANCYA.shop for trending items, stylish gifts, and innovative finds that brighten every day. Fancia.shop. Style, innovation, and everyday joy.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast. Okay, so, by the way, your thoughts are welcome on anything I bring up on the program. If you have any comments on Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, and Megyn Kelly, who's injected herself into it. The thing about Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, a little too emotional to be leaders in media, I got to tell you. This has been going viral today, and it's really a sad thing. This lunatic liberal harassing this senior citizen who works at Target. She works at Target, and she's wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt, and this liberal just had a freaking meltdown. Listen to this. This has been going viral on X all day.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why?
So,
Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not
It's
a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt.
We
You
don't.
support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go
over
get
it.
your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
Wow.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am. Have
And
a
you
nice
shouldn't.
day.
You should not be allowed to wear that.
Have
This
a
is
nice-
going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
In fucking insane.
Wow. Okay. So this woman who's like in her 30s, 40-ish, sounds like some of these trolls that call me. What is it with millennials and Gen Z with the F word? And this is, these liberal Gen Z millennials who would speak to an elderly person like that. Well, any person like that really at work. She's bullying her. She knows she's at work, so, she can't really argue back or fight back or stand her ground or whatever it is. She's got to take it because this woman's a customer. And the lady, the elderly lady at Target, she did handle herself well. Thank you and all this stuff. But totally lowlife bully. And, she sounds like these trolls that call me, right? These, and with the liberals, notice where's your manager? Although she's using the F word. You shouldn't be allowed to work. She's trying to destroy her life, get her fired. Here you got an elderly woman. She may be a grandmother, and here she is working on her feet all day in retail at her age. And this lunatic triggered liberal comes in and speaks to her that way. it's so strange because, what's happened here, and you've heard me talk about this a few times on the program. Millennials and Gen Z, because of all the technology, don't have normal human interactions. And they don't know how to talk to people. And they don't know how to interact with people.
Steve Kane,
Well, I guess I'm going to have to call Steve back after the show. Sorry, Steve. I'm in the middle of the show. Because when the internet came out, and even before the internet was out there, futurists would talk in the future. We'd have certain things. We didn't understand what the internet was, but they explained that we would have these things that would connect the world and everything. And the whole idea with the internet was that people would be better connected, that we would be better connected with people all over the planet, and it'd be so great. But what it's really done is devolved so far as personal interactions. The left, they sound like brown shirt Nazis in the 30s that have totally dehumanized the entire population other than themselves because they don't have normal interactions in life like you and I did growing up. So they don't know how to talk on the telephone. They don't have proper manners in person. They don't have the proper respect for their elders. I mean, look at this. There's an entitlement mentality. And, the crazy thing that's very frightening about this woman that is saying these crazy things to this elderly lady working at Target. Look at how, these are the people that were running the country a year ago. The few Democrats that are left, this is what they are like. If you don't agree with them, she's trying to cancel her. She's trying to cost an elderly woman her job. And I promise you, this woman is not working because she enjoys working. She's working at her age. She's probably receiving Social Security benefits because she needs the money to supplement her income. And this entitled millennial with a dirty mouth that doesn't know how to respect people or elders or even talk to another human being in public bullies her around and drops F-bombs like this nonstop. Now, luckily, this has gone viral. I think the woman will be okay. And when I first saw this, I mean, I couldn't believe it was real. But, this goes back to President Trump and his comments with Rob Reiner. See, Trump has been dealing with people like this lunatic woman at Target for 12 years, 12 years. And he's been dealing with people that not just some Karen at a Target with an iPhone walking through the aisles. He's dealing with directors of the CIA and presidents and FBI directors and other people and powerful business leaders and media moguls and everything else. Can you imagine? What this Target employee went through is what President Trump has been going through for 12 years every day at a very, very high and powerful level. And it's frightening. Now, because this went viral, the woman's going to be okay. But if it didn't go viral, who knows? This woman may have gotten her fired.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes.
So
Why? Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not
It's
a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt.
We
You
don't.
support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go
over
get
it.
your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
That's your opinion.
No,
ma'am.
the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am. Have
And
a
you
nice
shouldn't.
day.
You should not be allowed to wear that.
Have
This
a
is
nice-
going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
Wow. I mean, and this thing with the F word, it's kind of like the days of Twitter, which she's in. In a way, though, this happening will give good results, because this thing has gone viral today. Everyone's talking about it online. Everyone's seeing it, and it wakes a lot of people up. It really does. Especially, I know it's the holiday season, but we're about 2-3 weeks away from the midterm election cycle, and people need to see what's going on. Okay, now I want to get into this Susie Wiles thing. Okay, Susie Wiles did an interview with Vanity Fair. Now, I'm not going to I did read the article. I actually read the Vanity Fair article before the podcast. And Susie Wiles, and they really made her look like she had said terrible things about Trump and JD and the whole thing. And we know she didn't. And Susie Wiles tweeted about it, and they took things that she said and put them in another context to cause division inside the Trump administration and cause problems. And I'm not going to go through all the details of the article right now. Maybe I will tomorrow, but I think so many people will do it, and you may have read it yourself. The details of the article and everything that they took out of context that she said and everything else, I just don't feel like doing that right now. I want to talk about, though, Vanity Fair. I don't know what possessed Susie Wiles to do an interview with Vanity Fair, okay? Vanity Fair has a long history of hit pieces. And I remember what they did similar things to Sarah Palin and John McCain when they were running. And Vanity Fair, it's not only did they, by the way, thank you for the super chat, Olsenberry there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They didn't just take things that she said and put them in another context to imply that she said things she didn't say. They took these bizarre photographs of Susie Wiles up close, zoomed in, and of Caroline Leavitt, and to make them look really bad. Now, this happened with Sarah Palin and John McCain when they were running for president and vice president. They had Annie Leibovitz took some pictures of John McCain, and for some reason, I want to say they were for Vanity Fair. I may be wrong about that, but it seems like they were. And she took them with weird lighting and everything to make him look like Satan. And then, Sarah Palin, she had a reputation of being a good-looking woman. And for someone running for vice president, she was. And they took these weird pictures of her to make her look as old and her skin as bad as possible. And they got her to take off her shoes and socks and got her feet in the picture. And they made sure her feet looked bad. It was very bad. And that's what they did to Susie Wiles and Caroline Leavitt. And Caroline Leavitt, they zoom in on her face and point out what they say. And I saw it. I mean, I don't know if the pictures have been doctored. I don't know. But they highlight where you can see injection marks in her lips from lip injections, they say. And these are some of the most unflattering photographs you will ever see of Caroline Leavitt and Susie Wiles. And it's really bad what they did. But I'm going to tell you something. The liberals, this is a liberal hit job on Susie Wiles and Caroline Leavitt. Susie Wiles is arguably the most powerful woman ever in Washington, D.C., next to a first lady. Okay, I'm sure there's been some first ladies that were powerful. Who knows? Jill Biden was using that auto pen. She may have been ordering military strikes, but you know what I mean. Susie Wiles is not just the most powerful woman in Washington. She certainly is today. She's the first female chief of staff, and she's the most powerful woman ever in Washington, D.C. So these leftists that claim that they're supporters of feminism and all of this business, what are they doing going out there attacking these two women like this? Because they're successful and powerful? That's exactly right. Caroline Leavitt, she is the best, quickest press secretary I've ever seen for anyone, okay? The only one that comes close was Tony Snow. He was on Fox, and then he left Fox and became George W. Bush's press secretary briefly And then he left because he had been diagnosed with cancer. He wasn't there very long. Caroline Leavitt is the best press secretary ever. And it's hard to believe she's only 27 because she's always has great answers. And I'm shocked at how good she is because she's going up against people that have been doing this longer than she's been alive, and she fillets them every time. So the left, who run around telling people that they, women's power and all this stuff, girl power, elevating, men have had too much, we need women in power. They take these two women in very powerful, prestigious positions that they earned and earn every day, right? I mean, Caroline Leavitt, you may say, well, she had a connection, her husband and all this stuff. She's doing the job every day, top tier stuff like we've never seen before. And Susie Wiles too, okay? And they take these two women who not only are the most powerful and influential maybe ever in Washington, D.C., they're also the best, better than the men that have had these jobs by far. So they've got two women that are tops in their position. As powerful as they are, they don't like Trump, so they try to destroy them. I thought the left, Vanity Fair, and these liberals were about elevating women. Or do they just want to elevate liberals that are incompetent like Kamala Harris or something? They really, they should be ashamed of themselves. I understand that they're Democrats, and Democrats have no shame. Hold on a second here. Getting very strange text messages from people I don't know. But it's really a shame. And the photographs are worse than what's in the article because, I'm sure it bothers both of them. You don't want to see that kind of stuff. The thing with the injection marks on the lips with Caroline Leavitt, I don't know if that's what she does. I don't know. She's pretty young. Does she do cosmetic work like that at her age? I don't know. I don't care. But the Vanity Fair article and the photographs was done to try to destroy the two most powerful, accomplished women we've had in Washington maybe ever. And I just don't know why they would talk to Vanity Fair. I wouldn't let Vanity Fair interview me if I were them, and certainly I wouldn't let them take my pictures and be in charge of that, right? And if I did do an interview, you best believe the whole thing would be recorded for me to release. Carrie Lake, when she was running last time and she would do interviews, she would always record the interviews just in case the people that interviewed her edited it to make it look like she said something she didn't, like Trump's dealing with the BBC right now. Why did Susie Wiles do a Vanity Fair interview? It was not the right thing to do. As smart and everything as she is, and I know she's been doing some interviews lately, that's one she should have said no to. Right? Don't talk to liberals. They're not out there to report the news or report what you say. They're out there looking for garbage to trash and hurt the president with. And what they really want desperately is for Trump to fire someone. They try to give him the fire Hegseth. I guess they've given up on that. Now they're making their moves on Susie Wiles. They want him to fire someone. This thing with Dan Bongino quitting, whether that, that's not, no. They want him to fire Cash. They want him to fire somebody at that level. And Susie Wiles would be a big one. All right, I'm going to take a break. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are, and he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him, and we brought all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999, and online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank, what's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. Do you want healthier chickens, stronger immunity, and rich golden yolked eggs without relying on chemicals? Of course you do, but how do you do it, and where do you even begin? That's easy with the new book from author Mary Butler, The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Nature's Remedies, available on Amazon. Author Mary Butler is a devoted chicken keeper and herbal enthusiast who brings more than a decade of hands-on experience straight to your coop. The Herbal Hen House is a warm, practical guide that shows you how to use safe, effective herbs to support digestion, boost immunity, and improve egg quality, as well as help prevent common flock problems naturally. When you read The Herbal Hen House, you'll discover easy, beginner-friendly herbal remedies, simple DIY blends that you can make at home, as well as clear guidance on what's safe, what to avoid, and how to care for chickens at every stage of life, from chicks to senior hens. Whether you're raising your very first flock or have been tending chickens for years, The Herbal Hen House gives you the confidence to ditch those harsh chemicals and raise healthier, happier chickens the natural way. The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Natural Remedies, from author Mary Butler, is available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Order your copy right now. Your chickens will thank you.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, and this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good afternoon, Brian. It's Jack from Sarasota. I think I have a reason for Dan Bongino leaving the FBI, and I think it has to do with this Friday. I think it's because Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, and he wants to save his reputation by quitting. Same thing with files, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I do apologize, Brian. I know it's bad news for
that your fantasies, manifestation is a myth. Okay, keep wishing. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. This was CNN talking about the Vanity Fair story.
Let me get into some of the main things that I found very notable from what Chris Whipple, who works with Vanity Fair, detailed from their conversations. One is that Wiles referred to President Trump as someone having a, quote, alcoholic personality. She also talked a lot about the vice president, J.D. Vance, someone who I should note had this conversion that Whipple noted as well from never Trumper to a MAGA acolyte. Susie Wiles essentially said that change, that conversion has been, quote, sort of political. And she said the vice president has been a, quote, conspiracy theorist for a decade. She also talked about Russell Vought. He is the White House budget chief, but he's also, of course, one of the architects of that notorious Project 2025 conservative blueprint for the future Republican Party, something that Trump had previously previously, of course, disavowed. She argued that vote is, quote, a right-wing absolute zealot. And then she also went into a number of different things. One, she talked about Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, someone who is one of her closest friends, I should note, in this administration. She argued that Bondi, quote, completely whiffed the handling of the Epstein file. She also talked about how the president, who came in and offered a series of pardons to really roughly 1,000 people who were convicted for their crimes on January 6th, she essentially admitted that she had urged the president not to pardon those who had committed violent crimes on January 6th and on the Capitol attack. She also talked about how she disagreed with him sometimes when it came to tariffs, saying that she had urged him to delay some of the tariffs that he ultimately announced. And it goes on. Let me get into...
And this is one of those things that it doesn't pass the smile test that you talk about, right? That you hear me mention from time to time. So what they expect us to believe is that Susie Wiles sat down with Vanity Fair and ripped everyone in all the senior people in the Trump administration in this interview with Vanity Fair, Pam Bondi and J.D. Vance, and the president. Does that even make sense? That makes as much sense as that story they had with Trump with all the girls that were Hawaiian Tropics models that they were claiming were not, right? I mean, I want you to think about this. Does it even make the slightest bit of sense that Susie Wiles sat down with Vanity Fair, ripped Trump, ripped his policies, ripped his pardons, ripped everything that he's done, then went on to rip J.D. Vance and Pam Bondi? Does that even seem in the least bit plausible to you? Of course not. Of course not. Now, if it was Marjorie Taylor Greene they sat down with, yeah, okay, I'd believe it because she's been out there trashing people a lot. But Susie Wiles, and then by the way, she's still the White House chief of staff. Now, if Trump had fired her, like General Kelly, and she did this interview after there'd been some high-profile exit and firing and dismissal, and she was pissed off and had a book coming out, yeah, I could see her saying that. But while she's working at the White House, 25 paces, she said this the other day, she's 25 steps away, or 25 paces, one or the other, from the Oval Office. Does it even make the slightest bit of sense that she would rip all of those people, including the president himself and everything he's done, while she's still working there? Of course not. Of course not. But this is what we're going to be dealing with. They've got the next 2 years, they're on one mission and one mission only: destroy MAGA. Their first attack is on the midterms. Who am I to give advice to Susie Wiles? But I'm going to. And don't do interviews with liberals. They're not your friend. I don't care how friendly they seem to be. They're not your friend. They want to destroy you. They want to destroy the president. They're going to slander you. Whatever you say, they're going to twist it, and they're going to put it in another way to do whatever they want to do. Now, I just got a notification from the Hill that a federal judge has ordered to stop the construction of the ballroom. Let me pull this up. I just got the notification here from the Hill. Listen to this. The breaking news here. A federal judge on Tuesday. Oh no, Trump won this one. A federal judge on Tuesday said he is not inclined to temporarily halt President Trump's White House ballroom construction project at the request of a group that sued. Well, first of all, they already tore down the old building, so they got to finish the construction project. I got to tell you, the idea that these liberals have, they don't get their way. They can't get their way through at the ballot box, so they go to federal judges and get rulings. Now we know why Trump tore down the whole building. If he didn't tear down the whole building and it was still standing, they would find federal judges to stop what they were doing and reopen the building. So they had to tear down the whole building, I guess. So what are they going to do? Turn it into a grassy area now? I mean, what are they going to do? You can't even the liberals, they've turned into like a homeowners association. You can't do any construction projects on your house, President Trump, unless you have the approval of the American left. Oh, yeah, one thing I just want to mention quickly. Did you see Hegseth is saying they're not going to release the full video of the attacks on the drug cartel boats? He says the classified information, we're not releasing that to the public. They've been putting a lot of pressure to get those released. And President Trump has said multiple times, it's up to Pete Hegseth what they release and what they don't release. And yeah, I want you to think about this. How low have the Democrats gone, right, that they have to defend drug cartel and drug runners, right? That's how low they've gotten. And by the way, they're openly defending the drug cartels and the drug smugglers and the drug runners. Now, if you'd like to support my content, become a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes. You get access to exclusive Patreon live streams that I do that are only available for Patreon supporters that I live stream on the Patreon platform itself. And if you're a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up on the screen and a thank you shout out on every episode. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SF Jr., Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, Lee Zepp, Shauna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you are listening on. And you can also go to the website directly, patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Also, don't forget the Brian Craig Show podcast is available wherever you get podcasts. Just search for the Brian Craig Show. If you want to catch the podcast live, where you hear me taking calls and video form, that's on YouTube and YouTube Music. Just search for the Brian Craig Show on YouTube. All right, everyone, thanks for joining. I am Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, where MAGA comes to talk. I will talk to you next time. Take care.